Until this very day, the ceasefire that they're talking about started on the 19th of January, and until today, on average, there's about 5 Palestinians killed every day. And that is why we continue to turn up, to hold those people accountable, to hold our government accountable. Our government should be acting on these statements in condemnation, should be doing something to apply any sort of pressure on the Israeli government, on the US government, to come with a resolution to solve this issue, but they won't, because they're benefiting from it, and they are the same people with the mindset of a colonialist system that wants to fight, to wipe the indigenous of this land and all indigenous people around the world. Today, before we start, just a reminder, if you can help out with the marshalling, we need a few volunteers. So you can, they're having a gathering at the corner of Latrobe and Swanson Street. So if you kindly can help out, if you got some time to help out, please head out there. Today we'll be marching through the city and doing a loop to Lonsdale Street and coming back. And one thing, and one reminder which we have mentioned over and over again, we have Zionists in the city that want to intimidate this movement, intimidate us, so that they can get some words that they can use in the media to enact the proposed laws of anti-Semitism. We're nothing about anti-Semitism. We're not here to attack the Jews. Just before this rally in front of the Parliament, our brothers, our Jewish brothers and sisters have organised a rally which has come here, obviously, and this goes to show you that this movement, this goes to show you the solidarity that we have in this movement. It's nothing to do with religion. It's not against the Jews. It's not about the Christians. It's not about the Muslims. It's not about any other religious or ethnic group. It is a human right. It is a human right that the Palestinians should have the right to decide their own fate. So in line with that, we need to be careful not to fall for the traps of the Zionists. And the best way to deal with the Zionists is to give them the silent treatment, to ignore them as if they don't exist, because they shouldn't. They shouldn't be intimidating us. They shouldn't be forcing their sick ideology on anyone. And that sick ideology should be removed from our society. So again, a reminder, if we go past them, please keep moving and continue to ignore them, and that's the only solution with them. Our first speaker is Kim Bullimore. She's an Aboriginal activist, socialist and anti-racism campaigner. Give her a big round of applause to Kim.
Hello everybody. Hi everybody. First of all, I just want to acknowledge that we are meeting on the traditional lands of the Bunurong Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. This land has never been ceded. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land, and I want to pay my respects to elders past and present. My name is Kim. I am a Murray woman from North Queensland. I am also a guest on this land. So I want to say thanks to everybody for coming out today again. It's fantastic to come out week after week after week after week to stand in solidarity with the Palestinian people. And make no mistake, Palestinian people are Indigenous people just like Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and we stand with you and we stand in solidarity. I have been a Palestine solidarity activist now for more than 25 years. I've spent extensive time in the occupied West Bank. I've seen the horrors of the occupation first bank, with the largest military action taking place in 20 years. At the moment, going into Jenin, Tulkarem, Nablus, Toowoomba, and many other places. More than 26,000 people have been displaced from their homes have been destroyed. More than, I think it's 70 people have been killed, including just 38 in Jenin alone, and including at least 10 children. One child in Jenin was in his courtyard of his home and was decapitated by the Israeli military's fire. Shame, absolutely shame. And as I said, I have spent time in the occupied West Bank. I was there in 2004, I think it was, 2 years after the last big operation, which was so-called the Operation Defensive Shield, where they similarly went into Nablus, Jenin, all of the major cities and carried out occupations. I saw the aftermath of that destruction. In Nablus, I was taken around by my host and they showed me where there was a whole area where a house no longer existed. And I asked them what happened, and it was a plaque to the family who had lived in there, about 11 people. And the Israeli military coming in gave 1 minute's notice to their people in the area and then proceeded to bulldoze the house while the Palestinian family was still in it.
Shame!
The mother was found after the rubble was dug out at the front door, cradling one of her children, trying to protect them from the devastation of that destruction. Luckily, 2 of the grandparents survived, but they remained under that rubble for 9 days. 9 days before local people could pull them out. Absolutely shame. And another thing in Nablus, I've seen the destruction when they go in and they say they're demolishing Palestinian houses through dynamite. I've seen what that does. It doesn't just destroy one house, because all of these houses in the refugee camps are built on the footprint of what would be a tent that was set up in 1948. And they're built vertically, and the streets are so narrow, absolutely narrow. And they can't get bulldozers in there, so they use detonation. And these detonations blow massive holes inside not only one house, but 2 houses, 3 houses. They destroy the whole innards while still the outside of the shell is there. It is horrendous to absolutely see. It was devastating to see.
Israel is terrorist state.
And this is the horrors that are happening at the moment. Again, in Jenin, in Tulkarem, in Toowoomba, all of the places that the Israeli occupation forces are going into. It's horrendous. And we need to keep coming out and standing in solidarity. We need to keep raising our voices, because this is an ongoing Nakba. The Nakba has not stopped since 1948, and it continues in the horrors that we saw in Gaza for the last 15 months. And as Basil said, we have horrendous leaders all over the world, including in this country. But Anthony Albanese is quick to put out media releases about supposedly UNRWA being terrorists, but he can't even be bothered making a comment on Trump's ethnic cleansing proposal. Absolutely shameful. And then we have KMU Trump, Peter Dutton, who thinks that Trump is a great thinker. What the fuck? And then we have the Australia and all the Murdoch hacks of the press who think this is a great idea as well. Absolutely shameful. So it is up to us. It's always been up to the people. Always been up to us to stand and say no, that we will stand in solidarity with all the oppressed of the world. Indigenous people, people of colour, migrants, women, trans folks, everybody is oppressed. We are in solidarity with, because our strength is in our unity. That is our strength, and they can never, ever undo that. Ever. That is what frightens them. That's why they're trying to bring in all these laws to stop protests and to tail them. Because we frighten them, because we have strength to go against their horrendous positions on human rights, their horrendous positions on ethnic cleansing and genocide. So thank you for coming out again. Thank you for standing in solidarity. I'm going to end with a chant now. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Always was, always will be Palestinian land. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Always
Thank you, Kim. No one knows genocide better than the Aboriginals. They've gone through it for hundreds of years, so they know exactly what genocide is all about, which continues to happen until today. The oppression of our Aboriginal brothers and sisters on their own land. And this is what we, the Palestinians, are going through. See, what they're doing is they're establishing new facts, new conditions to negotiate with. You know, when Trump comes out and says, oh, Gaza is a destroyed place, so we want to build it again. Well, you destroyed it in the first place, didn't you? Yes. So they want to destroy it and then they want to negotiate about taking it over. And the same is happening in the West Bank. You know, we know about Gaza over the last 15 months, but West Bank has been going through atrocities right through which we don't hear about. You know, since the attacks, or since October the 7th, there's been about 900 people killed in the West Bank. And the settlements continue to be established in the West Bank. They're still stealing land until the pieces scattered throughout the land. You know, and that's why we are here, and that's why we continue to fight. It's not only about Gaza, it's not only about the West Bank, it's about all of Palestine, and it's about all oppressed people, particularly oppressed people on this land. Always was, always will be. Our next speaker is Nada. Nada is a first-generation Palestinian Australian born in Nablus, West Bank. She has a background in community services and is currently studying to earn a bachelor's with a minor in linguistics and anthropology. She is also the daughter of the first Kanafa sweets shop in Melbourne. Give it up to Nada.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers, sisters, and Muhammad. I would like to begin today by acknowledging the traditional owners of land on which we gather here today, the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to elders past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here with us today. We know that sovereignty was never ceded. It always was, and always will be, Aboriginal land. 2 months ago, a dear friend persuaded me to join her on a very spontaneous journey back to her homeland. She chose to dedicate 3 months of her time and effort to volunteering at Bethlehem, while I immediately prioritised spending 6 weeks with my family in Naarm. Today, Amoy has kindly asked me to share my experiences whilst in the West Bank, highlighting any cultural encounters that might captivate you and offer a familiar but fresh perspective on the place we so passionately support. I could share countless recollections from my time in Palestine, a collection of accounts revealing the good, the bad, and the unbearable. I could stand here today and urge you to reflect on the harsh realities of subjugated communities, the relentless oppression, and the grim existence forced upon them. I could describe the exhausting journey from Amman to Adifah, the endless buses, the invasive security checks, the condescending scrutiny of border control, the almost comical yet deeply violating restriction of private thoughts as your phone becomes a chronicle of evidential risk, where even the most innocent convictions can be weaponized against you. I could recount the many times I sat as a passenger in a Sobeys, travelling between districts, only to be stopped for hours at one of the countless checkpoints, picked apart like a plaything, held up for no reason other than the whim of the soldier at the window, indifferent to the lives disrupted behind me. I could tell you of the countless nights I was jolted awake by gunfire, clashes between the occupation and resistance. All the mornings I was stirred not by the call to prayer, but by minarets announcing another martyr. Another young man taken in Balaka, Turkana, and Jenin. I could tell you the stark realities of the marginalized, the suffocating nature of occupation, and the erosion of what should be a safe and free society. However, I fear that by sharing these experiences with you, they come across as repetitive anecdotes, almost redundant in their retelling. It's as if an outsider, captivated by the novelty of a new world, brings fascinating stories to share. yet overlooks the reality that these moments have become the everyday lives of an entire people. I was so enamored by the tourist gaze that I failed to remember that Palestinians are individuals with autonomy, lives, struggles, and dreams beyond the occupation. They coexist in differences of opinion, outlooks on political struggle, and variations in their disparity. Yet, just as their perspective differs, so too does their resilience. For I came to realize that resistance is far from monolithic, and not all forms of struggle are visible in the ways that we might expect. I have witnessed the dwindling of patriotism, the dissolving of determination, the sight of giving into complacency. While these observations may challenge the idealized image of the Palestinian, they are simply the reality of a very normal community. This led me to confront a broader truth, that dynamic opinions exist everywhere, even in the very places we so deeply support. I'm inclined today to make the distinction between human and struggle, the separation of bravery and existence. I wanted to ask you to reflect on your interpersonal struggles, and how you choose not to be defined by them. How you decide to not allow your differences to interrupt the reason why you show up today. I'd like to explore the intersection of varying views that are very apparent in our weekly reality. Each of us consists of values, belief systems, and opinions that don't always align with one another. The diversity of thought within our gatherings is not a weakness, but a reminder of the complexities of human nature. Though we don't come together because we see eye to eye, but we unite for those who suffer the most. Yet at times, we overlook the reality that we are the product of nuance, detail, and contradiction. We are not flawless, rather we possess numerous imperfections and vulnerabilities that can hinder our ability to concentrate on what truly matters. This is an inherent aspect of being a human being. It's easy to assume that disagreement is a fracture, that differing opinions could weaken a cause. But in reality, they can sharpen our focus, force us to question, and ultimately strengthen our resolve. The fact that we come from all varied backgrounds, with diverse opinions, makes our movement more adaptable and resilient. We don't have to agree on everything to stand together in the face of oppression. Just as my people embody depth, diversity, and individuality, they do so under the weight of oppression. This is something we, from our relatively privileged and comfortable position, could learn to appreciate and understand, as we aim for a united, liberated, and a free Palestine. Thank you.
A quick reminder, we've got Free Palestine Melbourne collecting donations. As you know, this movement needs money and we fund a lot of projects and a lot of actions, so we've got the guys going around collecting some money, so please donate whenever you can. Our next speaker is Geordie Silverstein, who is a historian, a writer, a member of the Loud Jew Collective. Welcome, Geordie, to the stage.
Thanks so much for having me here. I also want to start by acknowledging that we're here on the land of the Wurundjeri people and to pay my respects to elders past and present. This always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Always was, always will be.
Aboriginal land.
Always was, always will be.
Aboriginal land.
And as we know, settler colonialism is international, but so is resistance and fight back. And for those of us who aren't Indigenous, we learn from Indigenous peoples from across the world about how to live with ethics and integrity and dignity. So thank you for having me. It's an honour to be here speaking, and I'll keep it short. We need to know, as we know, what is going on in the past week and in recent weeks about the attacks on academics and universities, and I work at a university, so I'm particularly aware of that. But we know that these attacks and not just hitting people who are in the news, not just journalists and academics and artists, but people in all kinds of industries and workplaces. So there are people who are being fired and people who are being persecuted for speaking up for Palestine, and we need to have all of them in our minds at all times. And shame on those organisations that do this. We need to fight back collectively and not leave anyone behind. We need to think, for those of us who aren't Palestinian, we need to think about how we can be allies and how we can be better at being allies. We need to remember the Centre of Palestinians, and so grateful to Naarm in particular for sharing that testimony and that theorising of those stories. And we all need to be thinking about how we can hear more and more from Palestinians. What are we doing to make sure that we're always listening to Palestinians? We need to centre what is being done throughout all of Palestine, the absolutely ghastly, gut-wrenching, heartbreaking violence. We need to build relationships, right? We need to work with people across difference. We need to find ways in which we can strengthen the connections that we have with people in the movement, with people outside the movement, to bring them in. We need to think strategically. We need to think creatively. We need to think in new ways about what we can do and how we can do it. To think about what is effective and what is best. We need to take this as an ongoing practice and never be settled into singular ways of enacting our solidarity. We need to honour the people we follow behind. Be open to learning, to shifting and changing and morphing, to growing and being in constant conversation. And it's through our alliances and our allegiances, our staunchness and our holding strong, our generosity and community building across difference, we will remain dedicated to justice and liberation, and we will collectively ensure that Palestine will be free from the river to the sea. From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
Thank you.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
As we all know, throughout the last 15 months, many councils in Melbourne made the decision to raise the Palestinian flag, and one of those councils is Marybeck. And that's thanks to the efforts of the residents of that council and the participants of these movements applying that pressure. However, the Marybeck Council CEO removed the Palestinian flag as soon as the ceasefire was announced. Although, when the motion was passed on the 13th of March 2024, the motion stated that the Palestinian flag must keep flying until a permanent ceasefire is reached, and we haven't seen that. As a matter of fact, as we just mentioned, this ceasefire continued to fail with the killing of the Palestinians. They were talking about the 8 trucks not being able to go in, and now they're talking about delaying negotiations for the second stage and so on and so forth. So we need to keep that pressure going. And on Wednesday, the 12th of Feb, there'll be the council meeting. So this is an announcement that at 6 o'clock on the Wednesday, 12th of Feb, at Coburg Town Hall on 80 Bell Street, Coburg, we'll be gathering there to apply pressure on the council to keep that Palestinian flag flying on that council building. So if you got the time, please turn up. We need to keep that pressure. As symbolic as that move is, it is very important to get the message out there that until the Palestinians have their rights, until they can decide their own fate, and until this oppression comes to an end, we will continue to fight. Rallies, at the councils, at voting stations, at boycotting, at every avenue that every one of us can do, we will continue to fight for the Palestinians and for all oppressed people. Our next speaker, someone who doesn't need much of an introduction, Amin Abbas is a brother who has been around at almost every action. He's a Palestinian refugee, son and grandson of refugees from Jenin in the West Bank. Give it up to Amin.
Let's make sure everyone's awake here. People in front, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
All right, on the sides, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
People at the back, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
All right, everybody, free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
We will live forever as we come out and show out every single week, and we will continue to show out every single week. The Zionist agenda is a stubborn one, but even more stubborn than that is the Palestinian resistance and the pro-Palestinian solidarity. We will free Palestine and we will return to a free Palestine. Now I'd like to start off by paying my respects to the Aboriginal elders and the Aboriginal people. If you're an Aboriginal person here, I'd like to acknowledge you and your elders, past, present, and emerging. This always was and always will be Aboriginal land. As Palestine always was, always will be
Aboriginal land.
Absolutely. Palestine will be Palestinian land, not Aboriginal land. We're checking if people are paying attention. Now, brothers and sisters, I'd also like to acknowledge the fantastic work that the Jewish anti-Zionist contingent just held a rally. And you know it's working. When the Zionists show up and they said, we don't want these people to speak on our behalf of all the community. Well, they're not listening. Because because our Jewish anti-Zionist brothers and sisters are always saying, you're speaking for us, by saying that Zionism and Judaism go hand in hand. So I want to say thank you to our Jewish anti-Zionists for your solidarity, for your bravery, and for your courage. Now, brothers and sisters, over the 15 months, we have seen an incredible amount of effort, a relentless resistance, as we have come here together, as we've stood together, as we have fought together. And apparently we have found the solution to rebuilding Gaza. And his name is Donald Trump, apparently. Well, here's a man who's detached from reality, humanity, and the lawfulness of the world. International law doesn't apply with this man. He doesn't recognize it. But we knew long ago that this convicted felon had no interest of recognizing Palestinian sovereignty. When in his first presidency, he moved the embassy of the United States to Jerusalem and recognized Jerusalem as the capital of so-called Israel. It was evident in his first presidency when he recognized Golan Heights, what is Syrian territory, and called it Israeli lands. It was made extremely clear when his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, went to a seminar at a university and said Gaza is prime beachfront estates. The evidence is undeniable. And yet in this past week, he spoke about Gaza like it's some property development opportunity. Talking about that we're going to rebuild it into some sort of heaven, and we're going to create unlimited jobs, unlimited potential for Gaza. Why would the Arabs return, he said. Just move them off to the neighboring Arab countries. We will rebuild Gaza. And as the convicted felon made these abhorrent statements, the war criminal wanted by the International Criminal Court, Netanyahu, sat next to him with a grin, and a sinister grin on his face, knowing that he got exactly what he wanted as Donald Trump was saying those words. The disgraceful suggestion of pushing Palestinians out can only be described as ethnic cleansing, forced displacement, and utterly unlawful under international law. And amidst all of this, our Prime Minister, Albanese, has decided to stay silent. when you don't say anything, you are saying something. And we know Albanese is complicit by remaining silent during these times. Donald Trump must not have been following what's been happening in Gaza for the last 16 months. Him and the Biden government, who have aided and committed the genocide in Gaza over the last 16 months. The genocide that killed 70,000 people. That's only direct hits, not letting alone the indirect people that died indirectly from the bombings. Hundreds of thousands of people that have died from indirectly from the bombings in Gaza. Not a single hospital remains. The genocide where it completely flattened every educational institution, where aid workers and cooks were killed for the crime of feeding the starving people. Where the majority of Gaza, over 70% of its infrastructure has been flattened. The genocide where it was relentless carpet bombing, where our children, Palestinian children have been orphaned, where 40% of people in Gaza are taking care of an orphan child who's not theirs. The genocide where kids are shot in the head. Shot in the head. It's the genocide where our children and our people had to be amputated without anesthesia. And the genocide where our women and our men were raped and humiliated. Shameful. And all that disgusting of a human being Donald Trump could talk about was unlimited potential and unlimited jobs and property development, and absolutely not acknowledging anything that has happened over the last 16 months. But what he probably hasn't seen is that after 16 months of relentless carpet bombing, as soon as the ceasefire was announced, the steadfast people of Gaza marched together in their hundreds of thousands, returning back to their homes. They marched back and they said, even if my house is destroyed, I will build my tent on top of the rubble because that is my home. They marched back and they said, we will return home, we will return to Gaza, and we will rebuild. We will rebuild. And we will break the shackles of the violent oppressor. They went back and they said, we are Palestinian and we are proud. We will resist until our final breath. The land is ours, the history is ours, and the roots are ours. We will remain, we will return, and we will rebuild, not Donald Trump, we will rebuild Palestine. And we're taking the land back, all of it. All of it. From the hilltops of El Khalil to the camp of Khan Yunis, Palestine will be free. From the villages of Nablus to the old church bells of the best Bethlehem, Palestine will be free. From the old city of Jerusalem to the Negev desert, Palestine will be free. From the seawalls of Akka to the slopes of Haifa, Palestine will be free. And from the steadfastness of Gaza to the courage and Jenin, Palestine will be free. And from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
from the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
1,
People,
2,
we won't be silent.
3.
Stop the bombing.
Now. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you.
of Melbourne to tell this government, to tell the world that for as long as the Palestinians are oppressed, for as long as there is oppression on this planet, we'll continue to turn up and scream. I couldn't be any prouder as a Palestinian and a Melbourneian to be part of this city and be part of this movement, to see people from all over the world, from all skin colours, from all religions, from all ideologies, carrying all sort of flags, wearing all sort of clothes, to come here to tell everyone that free Palestine, because it's a principle, it's a human right that the Palestinians must gain their independence, the Palestinians must gain their rights, and the Palestinians must free their land from the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Let's make them hear it loud and clear. From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Check 1, 2.
Walking. Check there's a sticker people over sticker people. Trees not enough for me. Nothing used to when I'm in the sun.
Thank you.
Sunday regular.
Why are you roaming around by yourself?
That's what I do.
Okay. Maybe if you can
Palestine from the map, but now the entire world is talking about Palestine. The entire world is resisting with Palestine. And what we're going to say to them, is long live Palestine! 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 Long live the resistance! Long live the resistance! Long live the resistance! Long live the resistance! Long live the Palestine will be free! Long live the Palestine will be free! Long live the Palestine will be free! Long live the Alright, we are the people. You should know who we are. We are the people! We can do better, louder. You should know who we are. We are the people! We are here to let you know. We are the people! We are here to let you know. We are the people! We will rise and you will see. We are the people! We will rise and you will see. We are the people! Palestine will be free. We are the people! Palestine will be free. We are
duymadım.
Palestine, not for sale. One,
We are the people!
two,
We won't be silent!
three,
Now, now,
one,
we are the people!
two,
We won't be silent!
three,
Stop the bombing now, 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 now!
one, two, three.
Stop the bombing now!
survived the Zionists. There wasn't that many of them, was there?
I think it's like 20.
Looked like maybe there were 30 at the
No,
most.
I think there were a bit more. Maybe
Oh.
like 50, 60.
Yeah, okay. There you go. Did you see the counter-culture protest?
I saw the post about it, I didn't see them.
See anybody there in the morning? That was really weird. Just came out of nowhere.
But that's like, the
Be back at uni. Oh yeah, okay. Soon though. My backward walking skills are getting better, but not perfect. Next week is supposed to be the last week thing. Well, I don't think anybody knows. Kind of weird. No.
I thought it was a big one
Next week is yeah, it is a big one. But yeah. Well, we're not quite sure at this stage. But yeah.
How is the social media?
Okay, I kind of announced that I'd say thank you for contributing to the document. They were happy with that. They could see that we're doing something to try and address that. And the whole story. It's going to take time. So next time we'll be a little bit more vigilant. Yeah?